I'm going to give you 5 things that I took from my interview with the land geek, Mr. Mark Podolsky. I'm Oliver Perry. This is the Oliver Perry Show. Let's do this. First point, your online presence gets you more business. Mark talked about how he got a phone call from some people about what he was doing on his website. And it was just that his website was there and that they saw what he was doing. I would like to remind you to make sure that if you're doing all the stuff you're doing in real estate, you're making all these impacts on people's lives, you're changing lives, the whole nine. Sure that you are providing a place where they can follow what you're doing, where they can see the things that you're doing and how great it is. Give them the opportunity to reach out to you, give them the opportunity to call you, put that information out there. Number 2, schedule out for the week and for the quarter. Now, Mark talked about how he was doing content for his site through his real estate stuff, through his content. Excuse me. Woo! Not COVID, I promise. All right. So he talked about scheduling things out for his content. And I could say the same thing to everybody who's in real estate. If you're doing content or if you're not doing content, schedule your stuff out. Give yourself the space, maybe a week, maybe a quarter, maybe a whole year, an entire year like I do. I'm looking at 625 doors, and within the next 4 years, I started last year, so that's 5 years total. That's 125 doors a year. Now, I may not hit that exact goal. I may not hit that exact number, but at the end, I know what it takes for me to get to that 625 doors. So I recommend doing the same thing for yourself, the same thing for your brand, the same thing for your real estate business. Sit down, schedule things out, and make it clear to yourself, your team, and your family exactly what you're after and how you're going to get after it. Next point. Matter of fact, before I get to the next point, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. If you like this content, of course. If you don't, that's fine too. You can always hit the thumbs down button. But I mean, the thumbs up and the subscribe, that's a little bit more supportive, a little bit more loving. You know, give guys some support, you know? Let me know what's going on. Let me know what you like, maybe what you don't. And matter of fact, let me know what you take from this in the comments. Next. Create a culture in your business and those you influence. Mark actually has something they call ninja style within his business. Now, this was created based off of a member of his community. And what has happened is it's now built a culture around that community. If you think about all the great brands that are doing impactful things, Nike, Adidas, Gymshark, Max Maxwell, Bigger Pockets, Graham Stephan, Terica Smith, all these people are doing great things and making great effects on those around them. But those that are around them are a part of a culture, a specific culture that's attached to that person and that brand and what they're after, what their goals are. So you can do the same thing for your business and your goals. Create something that allows people to connect with you, and then it'll take you and your brand and your real estate efforts to the next level, because now they have a story to follow. They have somebody who is a part of their life and they're a part of theirs. There's a connection there. Number 4, his podcast has grown with him. Mark talked about his podcast, and if you don't have a podcast, it's something that you should have. It's something that people should hear your voice somewhere in the world, period. Even if you're not listening to mine or you're listening to someone else's, that's fine. I think you should have your own as well. But Mark talked about how his podcast has grown alongside of him. He started in one area, and as that happened, he shifted to another and changed the name. Do not be afraid to let yourself evolve with your brand, and don't be afraid to let your brand evolve with you. Yes, you're going to lose people. You're probably going to lose people with the same brand that you have now. It doesn't matter what you do. You're going to lose people in some form or fashion. What does matter is that that brand remains authentic to you. We had our earlier episode with Nikki Saunders, and her advice in this was the foundation should remain the same. Everything else can change. The logo can change. The name can change. The foundation should always remain the same. Next point. Learn from what you've already watched and what you're already watching. This one is really interesting to me because we all watch TV. We're watching HGTV. We're watching Fast and Furious. We're watching No Way Home. These things that you're watching are affecting you and impacting you. You're watching them for a reason. One thing that I learned so far through doing some studies on YouTube and how to grow YouTube, one thing that they talk about, all the teachers talk about, is how we as people are attracted to certain things. So when you go onto Netflix and you're scrolling through Netflix and you're reading all the things on Netflix and you're seeing those titles are jumping at you for a reason. Sit down, figure out what these reasons are, because you are normally the same person you're looking to attract, or the older version of you. So if the older version of you was watching, let's say, Community, then why was the older version of you watching Community? And how can you take that attraction that Community gave off and attracted you and do the same thing to your audience? Now, do me a favor. On this side of the screen, you've got the full interview with Mark Podolsky, and then you've got the list of interviews that I've done up to this point on the Oliver Perry Show. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. And in the comments, let me know where you came from. Let me know you were here. Hey, I came from your solo episode, Ollie. It was okay. Anyway, now I know I got to go. And if you're still here and you haven't clicked, shame on you. You should hit the button. Click it now or don't. I'll love you regardless. All right. See you later.